All right. Today is 7/24/17, and I just want to give thanks to the One, the Source, the All, and the Most Highs. Big Amma Mama, Hashem, And today I want to talk about swords. Swords or swords. I guess it's SWORDS, swords. And I've been seeing a lot of things, information comes down to me, and I just had this on my heart, and I wanted to do a video about this because I've been seeing a lot of different stuff. It keeps going back to these swords or these swords. Now, even as a little kid, you had the movie, the little cartoon Thundercats, Thundercat Ho, and the Lion-O guy. He had a sword, and he defeated the evil Mum-Ra or the mummies or whatever, some mummy monster or whatever. He had that sword. And you go back to He-Man. He-Man, it was Skeletor, another zombie-looking type, monster type thing. And that was He-Man with Skeletor. Then you go back to the King Arthur thing, and he's talking about the sword. He had to pull the sword out of the stone. Also, other things with the sword, like even if you watch those Transformers movies, which is not recommending them because it's more about transhumanism, and they're trying to do the human with the robot thing, and even if the last one was about the blending in the human and a robot. But what I'm saying is that in that movie, you had the Optimus Prime, he had a sword. Everybody has these swords, sword. And then they talk about the sword, and they say in the Bible they talk about the sword, and they say that it's a two-edged sword. The word is a two-edged sword, and they talk about the word in the Bible. But you got to remember, the Bible is technically it's the Bibliohelios, and it's a science book about the sun. And the sun is not Yahshua. The sun is they're using the sun as a parable or a simile or whatever you want to call it. I forgot the correct word for it. But the sun, they're talking about a second sun that's going to be coming back, and it is going to be burning stuff off the planet. And it is also supposed to be a magnetic sun. But anyway, so I'm getting off topic. But the sword, get back to the sword. We're talking about that sword, and they're talking about that sword, and then they say the word is the sword. They talk about the word of the Bible or the word of truth or whatever. Well, to me, that's not the secret in the word and the sword. To me, the secret in that sword is your own word, your own manifestation, your own things that you speak into existence. That is your sword. That's your sword. Now the Bible does have a lot of good stuff in it. The Quran does. I've read different books, and the different books that I've read give me a little bit of all of the other world's religions. And once I began to read all of the different, not really reading up on, I read up on some of the Quran, and I read up on some of the Talmud or the Kabbalah or whatever, the Jewish book, and it was just too much for me. I couldn't really get off into it like that. But I do have a good understanding of other world religions and the way that they work. And to me, I believe, myself personally, I believe that all the world's religions come together to make one big book. I also believe in Mother, Father, Child. That's my Holy Trinity. That's what I believe in. But me, myself personally, I had to get away. I had Twitter. Well, I still have Twitter. I try to only get on there maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. I used to be on there a lot. I was on Google Plus, the TLC 13 Love Community. Big shout out to them. Got nothing but love for all of the ones inside of TLC 13 Love Community that have love for me. Not the ones that just in there because they got in there, and that's going to have to be weeded out and sorted through too. But I commend Unc on everything that he did and everything he was trying to do, but you just can't You can't foresee people to run around here portraying that they're righteous. When it comes down to it, they're really not. But anyway, what I was talking about is your own information, your own word, your own thoughts, and the things that you get for your own special abilities. If you are caught up in watching someone else and reading someone else and studying someone else and studying other things instead of outside of yourself, you are not going to get what you need to get. Your word is, there's a good word, there's some good words in that Bibliohelios, and there's some good words in the Quran. But your word is your own word, your spoken word. Your sword is what you stand by, your word. You ever heard somebody say, if you don't have your word, you don't have anything? You have to have your word, and your word has to be spoken, and your word has power. And that is the sword that you stand on. That is what, because you are what you say you are. If you say that you're black, if you say that you're Christian, if you say that you're Muslim, if you, whatever that you say you are, you say that you're a loser, you say you can't do this, you say you ain't never gonna be anything, whatever it is. And something's telling me about, I'm getting something about love. Love, it has, I guess it has something to do with the word too, but it's something else that was on my heart, talking about the word love. When, and this is for, I don't know who this is for, but when you love someone, don't be upset and mad at yourself because you're going through something. Because when you love someone, love doesn't have, love, real true pure love grabs a hold of you and it lets you go when it's ready. Because just if you're in a relationship and someone uses their words to hurt you, they use that sword to cut you and to hurt you, and you get out of that relationship, and then the other person has moved on, and now you're hurt. Oh, she did me wrong. Oh, he cheated on me. Oh, he did this. And now you, and or you might be like, man, I still love that girl. I don't know why she's doing this to me. I did everything, whatever. That's your word. You have to speak that into existence. You have to stand strong on that. And I'm not saying that just because you're saying, oh, I don't love her anymore, or I don't love him anymore, that word, that sword is going to cut and cut you free. I'm saying that this thinking about it and latching on to a bad situation is just going to cause you more pain. So you have to use your word, your power, your manifestation. Excuse me. And when you speak, I don't want to make this a long video, but when you people are thinking that they can just manifest, you're manifesting things, and you're thinking, for one, you have to be careful what you manifest, because all things aren't going to be good for you. I manifest a big old house and a Benz, and at the end of the day, it didn't even do anything but tear my family apart, because we had, I mean, I had money, had everything, and at the end of the day, I lost everything anyway. But so, excuse me, when you're manifesting, when you're using your sword, when you're using your word, when you're using that, it's not just a manifestation of, oh, I'm gonna get a new job, I'm gonna get a new house, and you keep speaking and you keep thinking it. Okay, yeah, but you have to, your mind is just like, it's just like a flower. Would you take a flower, stick it in a pot, and stick it in a dark room, and let it get no sunshine and no water? And that's how your thoughts are when you're manifesting stuff and things aren't coming true for you, or things aren't happening for you. You've took that thought and you're speaking it and you're saying it, but you haven't given it any sun, you haven't given it any water, because you have not put action forth to that. Because that's only one part of the manifestation. The one part of your word, of your sword, of your power, for the things that you're going through in your life, that's only one part. The word is the one part, it's the sword, but you have to put the stuff into action. You're trying to get a better job, keep trying to get a better job. Maybe you need to try to get your own business. You know, I got a job, I'm working a job, I keep getting good old jobs, but I have my own business. I have my book that I wrote, I'm getting ready to put that on a PDF file and just let people start downloading it for free. But I haven't got the response that I want on people have buying it, but when I let people read it and I give people copies of the book, it's called the Book of Books, I give people copies of it, and that word, my sword, is nothing less than awesome. And that's not tooting my own horn. That is what the people who I've let read my book say, that it's awesome. And I feel like I'm doing something myself a disservice, and the Most High's a disservice, by taking something and I'll set up donations page or something, donations, and then the book of books. It'll be free. It'll be a PDF file. You just click on a link, bam, you can read it, because it's a good read for people who like to read books. There are people out there that like to read books and like to read up on that word, on that sword, on that sword, on that power. So your word is your sword, and your sword is dull. Your sword is not sharp because your words don't mean anything. I'm not talking to everybody, but whoever's watching this video and they're wondering why things aren't manifesting for them properly and why their life is not changing, and they're manifesting and they're speaking that word, well, your word is your sword, and your sword must be sharp. Your sword is not going to be sharp if you're just thinking that you can just speak it. You can't just get up every day and go to work at a dead-end job, pay your bills, or you can't just sit up there and smoke weed, get drunk. You can't just do that kind of stuff and think that something different is going to happen to you. I mean, honestly, if you think that, and the people who, if you think that it's alright to still smoke weed, now I can see if you're doing a weed smoothie, but if you think that it's alright for you to still take your lungs that are wet and put any kind of smoke on them, if you think that that is something that the Most High set up for you, just go ahead and push the dislike button, because this video ain't for you. But like I said, I don't want to do a long video. I just wanted to do a video because this has been on my mind. I've been needing it. I did another video, I don't know when it was, and I haven't done none. I'm just going to do a whole bunch of videos, and I'm going to post them all at the same time once I get my website together with the PDF file. So by the time you guys watch this, you should be able to click on the link below and see the PDF file for the book of books. You see what I'm doing with my spoken word, with my manifestation, and I'm manifesting this to have me to have a donations page and to have my whole book of books on a PDF file. I'm speaking it into existence, and then I'm going to put some action. I'm going to swing that sword. That sword is my word. And they try to give you hints in all these different movies, and it's not. People think it's the word of that Bible. That Bible does have some good words in it, and that is not, those words right there, those words right there is not going to save you when it comes down to the end, when it comes down to you and facing your own personal demons. It's your own word from out of your own heart. You know what's wrong, you know what's right. You got to get it and get after it. And I hope this motivates somebody, and I hope, well, I don't hope, because they say hope is hell plus the Pope. So I'm manifesting this, and I'm willing this to help somebody and encourage somebody, because I was the worst of the worst. And if I can come to where I lost everything, got everything back, if I can come from the rock bottom zero all the way back up to respectability, back up to where when I look in the mirror, yeah, I like what I look at, you know, from fighting my addictions. And it hasn't been a long time. Haven't ate animals in going on 5 years, but I'm going on 2 years of not smoking weed, of not drinking, of not smoking cigarettes. So if I can do it, I know for a fact you can too. 13 Love, big shout out to Dr. Yafa Bey. Shout out to Rabbi Nine Son, 13 Pride, my 13 Pride, and TLC 13 Love private community that's on Google+. Oh, how do I stop this?